how you doing? You either love them or hate them. If you hate them, bad news. More are coming. They're going to be everywhere.
I think that clears it up.
It's what we call in the business a tease. We'll tell you more about it in just a few. Hey, how's it going, Tony and Chris? Glad to have you back with us.
Hello.
And, each time we do this, you know how calendars work. The days just keep ticking off, and we get a little closer and closer to the big holidays. We've got Hanukkah coming, Christmas, Kwanzaa, all those goodies. And getting into that spirit of the season, we're still trying to knock out all those things, that make us feel holiday-ish. At least one of my kids is coming for Christmas, and, she has certain movies that she doesn't want us to watch until she gets there.
Yes.
So we're having to kind of pick and choose. So we knocked a couple more out the other night, got Christmas Vacation out of the way, which she hates.
Okay.
And then we watched kind of a Christmas movie, LA Confidential, which I love. So I'm definitely feeling it. I made my candy order from Esther Price. I talked about them in an earlier episode, so that's coming. I've accidentally finished a tin of peppermint bark from Williams-Sonoma.
Wow.
So, it's small.
Okay.
So I have to get another one. One more.
Okay.
I'll have to see me through. What are you guys doing? Anything?
Well, we watched Family Man, which is Rachel's first selection for the season. And we each get two. Lily's watched Home Alone. We've watched Home Alone with her. So that one's done. We haven't done my two, which will always be the same and never change, Scrooged and Die Hard.
Solid.
So that's about where we're at right now.
Okay. I know, too, you're reaching those holiday shipping deadlines. We're really getting close to those now. Katie got all of her stuff put together to send out to her parents who live in California, and she just went to the post office, and I don't even know what the story is yet, because as I was leaving the house for us to do the show, she came in and said, well, I went ham on two old ladies at the post office.
Ham. Is that a term for fighting? Or?
It's like going off on somebody.
Okay.
Going ham. And she said all she told me was it involves blood and people being stupid.
Okay.
So I have no idea if she spilled blood. I don't know.
Well, she's got my attention. Are the cops going to raid your house tonight?
I don't know what's going to happen there. So I'll hear the story. If it's worthy, then it will be shared on the next show or the next live.
And if it's not, we will make an announcement telling you it wasn't worth talking about.
And then this is a crazy thing, too. She got all of these things done, packed everything up, took it in there. And one of the boxes she had for her parents is a box that's full of, it was like a vodka box that we had got at Total Wine or something. And they told her she couldn't mail anything in that box. They said, we can't send out anything that's in a liquor box of any kind.
Well, that makes sense, I guess.
Does it?
Well, I mean, what if they deliver it and leave it on a porch and some kid gets it thinking it's alcohol or something? It's kind of like pilots can't be seen in their uniform drinking.
I see that as two very different things.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, a box is a box, and anybody's going to steal it or open it, it's going to steal it or open it.
I get it.
And I'm wondering, is that, and I'm, again, as we've told you before, we don't really want to do the research. We count on somebody to find that for us and put it in the comments. Is that a post office rule? Because I had never heard that before. Or is that just a thing in the Southeast where they're a little more tight-assed about that kind of stuff?
I don't know if there's a lot of rules floating around the post office, to be honest.
It sure seems like there aren't. We had a guy the other day from UPS delivered to our house, like in street clothes and in his pickup truck.
Yeah.
And he said he works for UPS. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, I see fleets of those big brown trucks. You ran out of trucks?
I saw a U-Haul truck turn into my driveway, open up the back, and a post truck pull up. A United States post truck pulls up behind it, and they start unloading boxes. And then the post office truck takes off, and then the U-Haul guy comes up and hands me a package. And it's like he's an extra delivery guy.
I don't know what kind of crap they're trying to pull, but it's getting a little sketchy.
I mean, if they can't afford their own truck, then why did they raise the stamp price?
That penny every 10 years really does the trick. It's like, we're running out of money. What should we do? Let's start delivering mail an extra day a week on Sunday.
Yes.
Well, I don't think that's how that works. We got some real problems over there. That's all I'm saying. Movies, holiday movies, as we just talked about, are here. But also, award season now is getting ready to kick in.
I used to love the award shows because that was the only time you could really see musicians or stars behind the scenes kind of being themselves.
Yeah, I get
that.
I used to be into, I'm still into movies, but I used to be more into the Oscars and Golden Globes because I usually saw all the movies. Mm-hmm. And now I just don't have time to see all those movies, and so I always feel a little lost when it comes around. We're Screen Actors Guild members, so we get screeners for that, for voting purposes, and that's really how I catch up on a lot of these movies.
And that's another reason why I'm a little jaded about the award shows. When we get those, there's a company, Brad Pitt owns a company that all they do is actors hire them and directors to campaign for them to win awards for the awards season. And Jonah Hill used them for his 2 Oscar nominations. And so it's not like people are going, oh, I better vote for this. I honestly have made votes on the Screen Actors Guild Awards going, oh, who sent me that thing? Yeah. And voted for
it's human
them.
nature. It happens.
Same way with musicians and artists.
Yeah. You like to think that the best person, the person who deserves it wins, and often they do, but often it's just who had the best campaign. Speaking of Jonah Hill, have you seen the trailer for that movie he made about his therapist?
Yeah, I watched about 8 seconds of that and then was off.
Of the trailer?
Yeah, well, it came on automatically.
Oh, okay.
I was like, nah, this ain't my thing.
You're not really a Jonah Hill fan anyway, are you?
I like Jonah Hill a little bit in doses.
Okay. I'm curious about it. I watched the trailer and I thought it was interesting that I like that he's being very transparent about his mental health journey. I think it's important for people to do that, especially men. So,
Agree with that.
I'm a proponent of that. And his therapist seems very interesting and has a lot of character. So I'll probably end up watching it. It's an odd movie to choose to watch when there's other stuff out there. But anyway, we say all this to say Golden Globe nominations just came out a couple of days ago. And the TV I'm pretty up on. I've watched a lot of the stuff that's nominated on television, or at least I've heard of it. But when you get to the movie section now,
I know nothing.
It's stuff that's nominated that technically hasn't even come out here in the States yet. So we haven't had a chance to even know what it is.
Oh, wow. Well, that is, the Golden Globes are the foreign press, so yeah.
So totally, I get that. So let's just run through a couple of things here. The first thing I saw in the opening paragraph of the article I read, and it told me I was going to be lost. Favored Oscars contender, The Banshees of Inisherin.
No
I
idea.
don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So it led the film categories. It's got nominations for Best Musical or Comedy Film. It's got Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson in it together. You know who those guys
No.
are.
I know Colin Farrell.
Brendan Gleeson, gosh, what would you have seen him in? God, he's been in a ton of stuff. He was in Braveheart. Did you ever see Braveheart? No. Yeah. Did you see Gangs of New York?
No.
Did you see 28 Days Later?
No.
Have you seen In Bruges?
No. All this stuff sounds like boring artsy movies.
No, 28 Days Later is a zombie movie. It was pretty big several years ago. Anyway, he's a great actor, and he's been in a bunch of those kind of movies. But they were in a movie together called In Bruges that was very entertaining, but also very kind of heartbreaking. So clearly they like working with each other. But I don't know a thing about this movie. And really what we probably should have done, honestly, is taken 2 seconds to Google it before we started this show. But who has time for that? Again, we count on you to do the work for us. Now, we get to television, and just a couple of categories. This is one of the toughest categories, I think. Best performance by an actor in a television series.
Pernell Roberts, Trapper John, M.D.
If you're keeping track at home, and all the shows we've done so far, that's the second Trapper John, M.D. drop.
It happens.
Okay. Donald Glover in Atlanta. Super great show. I had a weak season, I think, this last season for me, but it's a great show. Bill Hader in Barry.
Oh, I love Barry, and Henry Winkler in that is so good.
Excellent. And I think Bill Hader has really spread his wings as an actor in that show.
And director.
Yeah, for sure. Steve Martin and Martin Short, both nominated for Only Murders in the Building.
I hope they win. I hope they tie and they win because they're old. And Steve Martin says he's retiring after this pretty much. And I really want them to win.
They're brilliant. Both so good in that show. And then Jeremy Allen White in The Bear, which might be the favorite show that Katie and I have watched in the last year.
Is that the guy that looks like Gene Wilder?
Yeah, like he could be his son for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's the only show that we've binged the entire season in a day.
Oh, wow.
In a long time. Once we started, we just couldn't stop. It was so compelling. Great cast, great acting, great story. If you like to cook or you have someone in your life who works in the restaurant business or something, I think you'll find it especially interesting to watch.
Okay.
But excellent. Let's see, best performance by an actress. You got Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary. I hear all this buzz about that show.
I don't know anything about it.
I think that's on network TV, though, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Kaylee Cuoco and The Flight Attendant.
I heard about that one. I almost watched an episode of it, then didn't.
First season, fantastic. But I heard the second season was not great.
Okay.
Haven't really gone there yet. Selena Gomez, Only Murders in the Building.
Great.
She's awesome in that. And then Jean Smart in Hacks.
She's been on the show so many times, and she's always very polite. I've never, I got to see it because Jean Smart's in it, but I hear great things about this show.
Yeah, I heard the show's really good. I guess my problem goes back to her because she was on Designing Women, right?
Yeah, and I pretty much hated that show.
Hated that show, had no interest in it, so I guess I hold a grudge against her.
Yeah, and you know what? To me, that show fouled up Howie from Fall Guy's name. Because he was on Designing Women. And I'm like, why would you do Designing Women? You just come off Fall Guy, a real show.
Quality programming like the Fall Guy. Waste your time on a show that's 10 times better and lasts 10 times longer. What are you thinking?
Wanted no part of that.
And I also, she had a short stint as a character on Frasier where she was really unlikable.
Yes.
And I know that's not her in real life necessarily, but anyway, so I guess I'm holding a grudge there. Dramas, you got Jeff Bridges for The Old Man. So good if you haven't seen that. Kevin Costner for Yellowstone. Diego Luna for Andor. Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul.
That's who I hope wins.
And Adam Scott for Severance. Last season of Better Call Saul, and he's what a performance he has given.
He's unreal, and he's a writer. that's kind of turned into this actor.
Yeah, really something else. So, and then of course there's a ton more. Where we were kind of running into problems is when you get down to the movie categories. Tell me about these. So, best motion picture, musical or comedy, Babylon.
Is that the Margot Robbie Brad Pitt movie?
I think so.
No idea what it's about.
Yeah, I'll see that because I like both of them, so I'll probably watch that. Then that Banshees of Inisherin that I mentioned.
Never heard of it.
No clue what that is. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, that looks like you got to think. I want no part of that. That one's looked at that like, oh, it's mind. If you say the words mind bending, that means I got to think. I want no part of it.
It's funny with the movies you think of like that. Honestly, like Inception, which I love that movie.
I do too.
The same director, but the one that like nobody understood it.
Oh,
Tenet.
Yeah, Tenet, yes. I walked out of that movie going, I have no idea what I just watched.
I'll challenge me. I'll watch a movie like that, but I need to at least get an idea, know what it is.
Only thing I took from that movie was it was Denzel Washington's son. The only thing I walked away from that movie that I understood was he sounds just like his dad. That's it.
Have you seen Black Klansman?
No.
He's in that as well. That's a great movie. Less thinking, true story, and 100% worth watching.
Okay.
It gets a little Spike Lee-ish in places. He has the things he does,
Yeah.
but generally, I think that's a great movie. Maybe better than Tenet.
What's it called?
Black Klansman.
Ain't that a Dave Chappelle bit?
No,
Oh, it's a different
thing for sure.
Okay.
But honestly, it's a true story about this black. I don't know if he's a detective or if he worked for the federal government, but he was going undercover to infiltrate the Klan.
Oh, wow.
But they had when it finally came time that they were going to force him to meet. And his boss goes, "What should I do?" And his boss says, "Well, I wouldn't go to that meeting."
Yeah, absolutely
they had
not.
to get a different cop that he worked with who was white to play him basically to go to the meeting.
Oh,
Because
wow.
he did all this work it's a crazy story. And
Okay, I'm in on that.
100% worth watching. Sorry, I got on a side thing there. Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery.
Can't wait. Love it.
I know you guys had your dry run, so
Yes.
you're ready to watch that one. And then Triangle of Sadness.
I don't know. That sounds like a bad Bond movie.
Yeah, I either think of like the Bermuda Triangle
Yeah.
or I think about something dirty.
Indiana Jones and the Triangle of Sadness.
That's a better title than the title they gave this thing. Destiny, whatever.
Dial of Destiny.
Yeah. So anyway, Golden Globes will be happening, and I think one other noteworthy thing to mention is the fact that Brendan Fraser got nominated, and everybody says his performance in The Whale is incredible. I've seen two different reviews that say he's great, period. One of the reviews said, but the movie doesn't live up to him. He deserved a better script. But then I read another article that said that's absolutely not the case, that it really stuck the landing and they made it worthwhile.
Well, I think he's so lovable. Everybody's rooting for him for his comeback.
Yeah.
And I think if it's got any kind of emotion to it at all, he'll win the Oscar.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story, and I mean, then you get the drama of the fact that back in 2003, he accused the then president of the Foreign Press Association of groping him, and that guy denies it, of course. So that was a big thing. And then he's already said, even if I'm nominated, I will not attend the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be a part of that. So, everybody likes a little drama.
Yes.
But it needs to pay off though, because like CMAs, there was all that drama with Maren Morris and Aldine and his wife, and then they just did the CMA show and nobody said anything or did anything.
Yeah.
I want to see some hair pulling.
Yes, I know. That's why you're off Yellowstone.
Catfight. No, I want real life. I don't want it scripted.
Okay. Reality TV. That's what you want.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Wouldn't you sign up to watch that?
Sure.
On stage, preferably?
Sure.
During the show?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm in.
This one should be honest. Speaking of movies, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, I'm sure you are super excited about this. She's going to write and direct a feature film for the first time.
I can hardly wait to see all the hate coming her way from the people. I wouldn't pay anything to see her. But yet they'll go see any other liberals' work.
Yeah,
in the movies.
I think for a lot of people, because Katie's not a huge fan of Taylor Swift. I don't know what it is exactly, but she likes some of her music,
Yeah.
but she's just not a fan of how she carries herself and how she made a career basically off writing, like revenge songs or whatever. My concern that doesn't lie in that. This could be good. I don't know what the movie's about. I have no idea if she has the skills to pull this off. Maybe she does. She's super talented. But the things that concern us, there are three reasons we're very concerned
About her film career.
about a film situation here where it's a full-length feature film. And those three things are
Amsterdam.
Valentine's Day.
And, of course, the biggie, Cats.
We rest our case. We wish her well. I just don't know.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so holidays, we're here, and it's supposed to be a time when it's feel good, and we're a little kinder to each other. The speech that Bill Murray gives at the end of Scrooge.
Yes.
That's what it should be. But unfortunately, some a-holes don't take a day off.
Nope.
And they don't take a season off. They're just out there among us. And this happened the other night. We don't generally go to Taco Bell, period. And when we do, it's a drive-through thing. But we went in.
Okay.
And while we're in there, This guy comes in, and he's very clearly a DoorDash driver because he starts yelling immediately that he's working for DoorDash. He's decked out head to toe in his ball orange.
Well, good for him.
I think, honestly, it's like, well, this checks out, that fan base, the way this guy's acting. But he's screaming at the people who work there that they wouldn't let him pick up the DoorDash order in the drive-thru, which, to my understanding, I've never seen anybody who can do that. They have a special place in restaurants for these guys to come in and get their stuff. So he's cursing, "You effing people, I can't believe you made me come inside here," blah, blah, just going off and yelling at him. And this went on for a couple of minutes, and Katie and I were like, what's about to happen here? Like, this is scary. I don't like seeing that kind of stuff. And finally, the manager, she just came right up to him and told him to get the F out of the restaurant.
Good for her.
And not to come back. And I was like, yes.
I always lose my mind when I see people just berating someone, especially at like a retail store, a grocery store or something, or Taco Bell even, because they're doing their job. And if they say they can't do something, it's mostly because of the protocol that is set in place. Like, I have to have a manager for this or this. I mean, it's like, lay off, folks.
On the plus side of that story, if you're a fan of the enchilada, it's back.
Okay.
They don't have the black olives. When they took away the green onions after the big thing when people got sick, I think they took away black olives for maybe the same reason. I don't know. So
I have no idea.
You have to supply your own black olives.
Okay.
But the fact that it's back is pretty exciting.
I have no idea what that is.
You don't remember the enchilada?
No, but I bet it's got a tortilla, cheese, beans maybe, and some salsa.
Not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad. How'd you do that?
That's just what I do. That's my knack. That's my thing.
I know everybody's made the joke, but it really is a remarkable restaurant. Like 6 ingredients and a menu full of stuff, and it's all the same ingredients.
Subway is the same way.
I guess so. Moving on to like checking out, and you said retail and the things like that. What is something that you either probably love or hate? And if you hate it, bad news for you, self-checkouts. I personally love the idea of self-checkouts. My only complaint we've talked about is that I wish they gave you more space for your stuff when you're packing it in your own bags.
I like it because it forces the person in front of you to not sit there on their phone until it's time to pay, and then they start digging around looking for money.
You think that? I look at self-checkouts a lot like four-way stops. It's a great IQ test.
Yes.
I've seen some people not passing.
But just so you know, it's not going anywhere. I was just in a meeting at Home Marketing Group the other day and watching them and their strategy and planning for the future. And they were talking about the amount of people moving into East Tennessee. And they're like, they're not going away. So there's businesses refusing to acknowledge that change is coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been happening for a while. Of course, if it saves a company money and if it's something that customers, can learn to do and like, I'm fine with that. Again, I love them. I like to not have to interact with anybody at every turn.
Yeah. Well, and what's going to happen now are the old people are going to start saying, well, this is taking away jobs from people. This is that. Well, you know what? They used to not have assembly lines for cars. They used to deliver ice and milk every day to people's doorsteps. Things change. They evolve. This is here. Yeah. This is the future. And pretty soon it'll be to a deal where you just walk up to stuff and go, and they just weigh your bag or something when you walk out the door.
Well, they already have. I know with Amazon in Seattle, some of those stores that there's no people. You just go in and get what you want, and then it scans it as you go out, and then it takes the money out of your account automatically.
See, that's coming.
Yeah, so it's there, and I'm fine with it as long as the technology is good and it's been tested. Because what I don't want to do is go buy $50 worth of groceries. Well, if you're going to Whole Foods, an onion.
I was gonna say,
and find out that they accidentally charged me $500.
Yeah.
So I think there's opportunities there for messing up. But on the subject of grocery stores, and this is really all just one big long thing to get to this crazy story that you experienced.
So I'm walking through Kroger, and a guy walks by me. We're coming down the aisle, and we pass each other, and he's on his phone, and as I'm walking by him, I see him go, and I pass him, and I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know, maybe he listens to the show or watches us.
I mean, we've been recognized off of radio and stuff before.
So I'm like, oh, maybe, and then so the next aisle, he's like walking by, and he goes, yes, it's him, and he just stops, and he goes, hey, man, and I'm like, hey, and I'm thinking, well, he must listen to the show, and he's like, wait a minute, are you, and I think the name was Alex, and I was like, no, sorry. And he goes, come on, are you lying? Like, you don't want to be recognized? I get it. And I'm like, no, my name's Chris. And he's like he still doesn't believe me.
Sure?
And I keep going down the aisle. And then on the next aisle, we pass again. And he just goes, dude, I got to tell you, I'm sorry for that, but you have an identical twin. He's the beer comedian here in East Tennessee. And I looked him up. He doesn't look like my twin, in my opinion.
Well, let's go to the screen. I don't see it.
No. And it sucks getting old because, when I was younger, everybody compared me to Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
And then there was a phase where it was Dane Cook.
Yeah.
And then there was Ryan Reynolds for a while.
Gary LaVox from Rascal Flatts.
Well, that's now the later years. That's why those were the cool years. Ryan Reynolds, Dane Cook, and the kid from Saved by the Bell. And now I get Gary LaVox, the beer comedian. And
time. It's cruel.
Yeah, it's undefeated.
All right, well, let's get to the final part of the show here today. And this is just, we're always on the lookout for things that make us laugh. So some internet that made us laugh this week. Now, I'll give you a teaser going in. We're going to wrap this up with the worst realty listing I have ever seen.
It's pretty unique.
And I just want you to see it. And we're going to point out some things and see if you notice it. And if you have ever seen anything like it, I'd love to know. I almost want to get this realtor on the phone and find out why she allowed these things to go up on that site. So we're going to get to that. That's coming. But let's start with a few other things, a little lighthearted fun here. And I start with, I say lighthearted fun. My friend Alex Neville, and I'm not name dropping, he's an actor, not a household name, but if you watch Cheers, you definitely remember him.
Yes, he was the shorter guy, executive that Kirstie Alley was hitting on, or he was hitting on her.
He was going hard to the hoop. That kind of made his career, and then he's been working since then. But Alex is very funny. When all the Kanye stuff and the Hitler thing hit a week or two ago, he made this, which I thought was pretty funny. I hate to laugh at that. I feel guilty laughing at anything that mentions his name.
Well, speaking of Hitler, I got some funny stuff on that.
Speaking of Hitler, I did not think I would hear that today.
I got some funny stuff on that. Yeah, if you notice, the mustache is gone.
Oh.
That the other day when Rosemary was like, "Hey, where are we going with this?"
This is your mother-in-law.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I realized, okay, this has run its course. So the other morning, I shaved it down to just a Hitler, and I walked around for like 3 hours in the house, and nobody noticed.
Nothing.
And then when I went, oh my gosh, shave that. And so
I think the rule is if you don't catch it on your own, you don't get to make that call.
That's what I thought. By the way, if you're just joining us and you're hearing us talk about Hitler, I've done some research. This guy's not a good guy. I like him less and less the more I hear about him.
Yeah, funny how that goes, right? I didn't think there was anybody left in history. It's like, how come they never talk about his paintings? Plastic surgeon friend from the U.S. got his prescription pad stolen. Next day, got a call from the pharmacy regarding a suspicious script, and here's what it said. Morphine, 1 pound, to go. He's got it framed and now hanging in his office.
That is awesome.
Kind of amazing. And if you are a parent, get ready to have your socks blown off. This is incredible. My kid spent the last 45 minutes pretending to be a robot vacuum cleaner and picked everything up off the floor. He is now sitting silently in the corner recharging. This is peak parenting. I don't know if I'll ever top this.
That is fantastic. That's somebody we need to get on the show. How that happened, how that came about.
It's the dream. Like, how do you train your kid to want to do something like that?
That's amazing.
Love this one. Dating coach. So, you tried flirting? Me? Sure, I gave her the look. Dating coach. Show me. I bite my lip seductively. Dating coach. Have you considered biting the bottom lip? When you just can't be bothered to put in the effort. This is totally us. I love how holiday homes look when they're decorated, but I don't want to put that work in.
Yeah.
I'm the house on the left, for sure. And then just poor placement. You've probably seen this before.
Location.
Those poor daughters. It's a shame. Okay, and then finally, we're going to wrap it up with this. Katie likes to get on like Realtor.com or Zillow.com and stuff, and just look at houses and see what they're going for. Just keep up with that kind of stuff. So she was doing that the other night, and she was actually looking for one of her grandparents' houses out in Benicia, California, near San Francisco. Quaint, beautiful little seaside town. And during that process, she came across this listing, and it's for a single-wide mobile home, and they're selling it for about $120,000.
Okay.
So, that seems pricey to me, but the location there, kind of ritzy. So then we saw this first picture, and it struck me immediately because I'm like, wow, they didn't straighten up. They didn't stage this. So they got the blanket on the back of the sofa. You got the fan over on the side. The TV's not even turned off. It's paused on the credits. So somebody got interrupted while they're watching their movie. All the junk under the television. The plastic bag full of what looks like clothes. For a second, I thought that was a roll of toilet paper up by the TV, but I think it's a candle. But that whole tableau.
So they didn't let's take 5 minutes and try to make it look a little nicer so we can make some money off this.
Exactly. I mean, and so then I saw this next picture, and this one's not quite as bad, but it's clearly a piece of the kitchen, but the counter. You got a couple of peppers on the counter. You got a big basket of stuff. Dirty dishes in the sink. Are you kidding me right now? So that's the picture where I started going, I got a vision that if the realtor came to do the pictures, whoever owns the house, man or woman, had a cigarette hanging out of their mouth.
Yes.
And said, you got 10 minutes, do what you got to do, and then get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I got to hurry up. Let's make a deal's coming on, and I want to be ready.
And no picture more than this last one really shows the level to which this homeowner doesn't give a damn. So we'll start over here on the right. You know, they got whatever they've got written on the board there, and then you got your microwave that's got all that stuff piled on top. And I get it. Cabinet space is probably tough to come by in a home like this. But then on the far left, you'll notice the oven is on, and they're cooking chicken. The man's hand is in the picture, flipping the chicken. They didn't even crop it out.
Just you got too much going on.
This is what they thought would be we're going to sell this place today.
This is a gold mine for someone.
These people, they didn't care, and I want to know why this realtor allowed that to happen.
That was probably just send me some pictures. And the realtor said, you know what? If this is the effort they're putting in, I'm not going to, there. If you want to buy it, buy it.
That's got to be that. For my money, that gets my vote for the worst realty listing ever.
Awful.
If you ever see one worse than that, please send it our way.
Yes.
Because I would I'll make a championship belt and hand it off to somebody.
Absolutely.
But I don't think you're going to top a guy's hand in the picture flipping a piece of chicken
No.
on a picture they're using to try to sell their home.
That's unique. That's for sure.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for today.
Yes. As always, we're asking you, please find us a couple of your friends to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so that we notify you when we post live things, new things.
Yep, we got good stuff going up. We've got, I think, 1 or 2 more Tony's Toddies coming before Christmas actually gets here. Both really good recipes. You will definitely want to check those out. We have new short ideas that we've got coming. We actually have a game coming probably in the next week.
Yes.
That we're super excited about. Give you a chance to test your knowledge about music.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be good. I think this could go viral.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So all that being said, please like and subscribe. Please share. Please help us out here. A new channel just getting started, and we're hoping that this thing can really take off. And with your help, we know that it will. Have a great one. We'll see you soon.